do not end a chapter with your mouth if your heart is not ready to let that chapter close. This is not drama, this is law. Your voice is not background noise, it is an order the invisible obeys. When you speak, you file a command. The law does not grade your feelings, it records your words. That is why people say, "I let go," and then feel more stuck than before. They did not release. They announced fear. They used releasing words to run from pain, not to agree with order. They signed a contract with confusion and then wondered why peace did not arrive. I am here to keep you from doing that to yourself. I will show you what true release is, what it is not, and why you must never speak it lightly. Picture a train at a platform. Your sentence is your ticket. The train does not scan your mood, it scans your words. If your ticket says surrender and panic, the train takes you to delay. If your ticket says release and faith, the train takes you to timing, order, and restoration. A child can grasp this. Say clean words with a steady spirit, and you arrive at a good place. Say the right words with the wrong spirit, and you land where you never meant to be. The difference is not volume or tears. The difference is readiness. Many people push out the phrase, "I let go," like someone pushing open a door in a storm with no coat and no shelter. The wind hits, the rain soaks, and they say, "See, surrender hurts." That was not surrender, that was escape. True release is not jumping from the boat because the waves are high. True release is handing the wheel to the one who knows the chart while you keep your posture steady and your word clean. It is not collapse, it is alignment. It is not giving up on good. It is giving over your grip so good can reach you in the right form. Life moves by seasons. To everything there's a season and a time to every purpose under heaven. You can feel the turn of a season the way you feel pressure change before rain. Something inside grows quiet. The argument in your chest loses power. You are not numb, you are clear. That quiet is a sign. It is not loud or angry. It is simple and weighty. When that peace is present, your releasing words fit the lock. Without that peace, your words rattle the handle and the door stays shut. Understand how speech becomes contract. Imagine holding a cup filled to the brim. Your hand clenches to keep it safe. The tighter you squeeze, the more it spills. That is clinging. People cling to a role that shrinks them, to a belief that keeps them small, to an identity that no longer fits. They grow tired and blurt, "Fine, I give up." But they do not bless what was. They do not trust what will be, and they do not anchor their speech in order. Law hears only the decree and moves the field to match it. Then they blame God for loss. God did not take. Their mouth announced collapse and the field obeyed. Words spoken in faith become keys. Words spoken in fear become chains. Keep it simpler still. Release is not a tantrum. Release is not a dare you throw at heaven. Release is not a game where you pretend not to care, so the thing will chase you back. Release is a clean, lawful act. You bless the past. You open your hand. You give the future permission to arrive in a better shape. You do not slam a door. You complete a season. So do not say the words that end a chapter until readiness is true. Readiness is not a perfect mood. Readiness is the presence of peace, the absence of pushing, and the honest sense that when you say, "I release this with love," you are not faking. Does this mean you should never let go? It means let go the right way. Law is not cruel. Law is consistent. When you align with it, it carries you. Picture builders waiting for a blueprint. Worry is not a blueprint. Tears are not a blueprint. Anger is not a blueprint. A clear sentence is a blueprint. I bless what has been. I make room for what is next. I trust divine order to bring the right form at the right time. That sentence hands the builders a plan. Your world follows plans, not panic. How do I know I am ready? Start with your body. When you are not ready, your shoulders climb, your breath is short, your jaw is tight, and your mind races. You try to force an exit. When you are ready, your body grows quiet. Your breath deepens. Your thoughts walk instead of run. You may still feel sad or unsure, but under it is a steady yes. Next, listen to your unguarded speech. Not the neat lines you type online, the words that slip out when you cook, drive, or clean. If those words still blame, plead, or bargain, grow a little before you speak release. Lastly, run a small test. Loosen your grip on one tiny thing. If looseness triggers panic and frantic control, keep preparing. If looseness brings strength and space, you are ripening. You do not earn release by suffering. You prepare for release by ordering your speech. Florence Scovel Shinn taught this plainly. The spoken word carries your intention into form. She did not teach you to clutch in fear. She taught you to decree with authority and then let the word work. Think of a farmer. He plants a seed. He does not dig it up every hour to check growth. He plants, he waters, he leaves it in peace. Your release works the same way. Plant it with a clean sentence. Water it with trust. Do not dig it up with, "What if I was wrong?" every 15 minutes. What if the thing I release is meant for me? Will it ever return? If it is truly yours in a higher form, it returns right. What returns under law does not demand you betray yourself to keep it. It brings clarity, not confusion. It fits like a right shoe. Release is not pushing away. Release is stopping the call to what no longer aligns. You are not breaking with good, you are breaking with small. Divine order never subtracts without preparing a better sum. A simple story: a woman hid her voice in a role that looked safe. She tried to release from anger. Every time she declared release, her day unraveled and she ran back to the same place. One evening, she sat still. She stopped performing strength. She blessed what the role had taught her. She thanked people she had blamed. When she spoke again, her sentence was short and clean. I release this with love. I make room for my right work. The next day was not fireworks. It was clarity. She wrote 3 plain emails. 2 doors closed cleanly. 1 door opened. The new role did not flatter her more. It fit her spirit better. That is order. Release does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop gripping. It does not make you cold. It makes you clear. It does not erase grief. It removes fear from the driver's seat. You can cry and still speak law. You can feel loss and still refuse to curse your future. Tears do not cancel decrees unless they harden into sentences that fight your decree. So we keep language clean. We do not beg the law. We address it. We do not threaten heaven. We agree with it. We do not speak like victims and expect to live like kings. We speak as sons and daughters who trust the order beneath our feet. Now, about the phrase people toss in hard hours, I give up. Those words can be holy if you add one more word. I give up control to divine order. They become harmful when they mean I give up hope or I give up on myself. Words carry direction. One extra word changes the track. I give up control to divine order points to peace. I give up alone points to collapse. If collapse is on your tongue, be still. Breathe. Wait until your mouth can bless both the past and the future. That small edit has saved many from long delay. Is this strict? It is strict like a recipe. If you skip steps, the cake does not rise. Law is not punishing you. It is consistent for you. Learn the steps, and your life stops swinging between extremes. You stop throwing away what is good because one day was heavy, and you stop clinging to what is small because empty space scares you. You become steady. You say fewer sentences and mean them more. Your word gains weight. Heaven trusts it. Your own mind trusts it. Here is the heart in simple words. When you are truly ready to let go, 3 signs appear. Peace is present, pushing is absent, and your sentence blesses what was while making room for what comes. Until those 3 are true, prepare. Quiet your body with slow breath. Tell the truth in private about what you fear. Bless what you want to blame. Practice small releases. Clean a shelf, thank each item, give it away. Little acts train your mouth and heart to agree. They build the muscle you will need for the larger release. When the time arrives, speak once, clearly and kindly. Do not make a big speech. Do not try to win an argument with life. Say your clean sentence and walk in the same direction as your words. Law does not require shouting. It requires consistency. Your steady follow-through tells the invisible you meant the decree. The less you contradict yourself, the faster your field rearranges. Keep one picture. You stand at a gate with a key in your hand. If you jam the key while shaking and yelling, the gate sticks. If you steady your hand, the key slides, the gate opens, and the path shows itself one step at a time. Release is the steady hand. Readiness is the steady breath. The clean sentence is the key. Use them in order, and the gate does what gates are made to do. It opens. If you remember nothing else, remember this. Never speak the words that end a chapter until you can bless the chapter you are ending. Do not declare release while your mouth is still arguing with your own spirit. Wait for the quiet yes, then speak once with authority and let your word work. That is how you stop circling the same hill. That is how you stop breaking your own rhythm. That is how you move from control to order, from fear to faith, from holding on to being held. When you speak like that, you do not lose, you are led. You do not fall, you are placed. You do not give up, you give over to a law that honors clean speech and returns good when you stop fighting its timing. Timing is not a mood. Timing is a law. You are not rewarded for wanting something sooner. You are aligned when you let it arrive in its right hour by speaking in order and then refusing to fight the calendar of heaven. The law of divine timing is simple enough for a child. The right thing, the right way, at the right time. Miss any one of the 3 and the result feels heavy, even if the decision looked clever on paper. People say, I spoke my release, but nothing happened. Something did happen. You planted a seed. The question is whether you left it in the ground long enough to sprout, or if you dug it up with anxious words and rushed choices. The earth is not slow, it is faithful. So is law. When you align with timing, results appear without the damage that comes from forcing. You can feel timing the way you feel weather before a storm. The air changes, the room shifts. A quiet certainty stands where argument used to live. Divine timing does not arrive with a shout. It settles. It does not demand you prove your courage by burning bridges. It invites you to step through a door already unlocked. That is why we do not confuse speed with timing. Speed is frantic. Timing is clean. Speed tries to outrun fear. Timing walks with peace. When peace is present, The same sentence you spoke yesterday suddenly moves mountains, not because the sentence changed, but because the hour did. There is a truth Florence taught over and over. Your word is the instrument, but order is the conductor. You can play a perfect note at the wrong measure, and the orchestra will still sound wrong. Divine timing is the measure. It is the beat by which the invisible arranges the visible. When you say, "I release this with love," and the measure is right, doors do not slam in your face. The wrong doors close cleanly, and the right door stands obvious, not loud. Obvious. Law is not theatrical. It is precise. How do you cooperate with this precision? Start by understanding that delay is not always denial. Sometimes it is protection. A closed door may be a shield keeping you from making a permanent decision in a temporary emotion. Do not bully the door. Bless the timing. If what you seek is truly yours by law, it does not need tricks to arrive. It needs a clear lane. Your job is to clear that lane with speech and posture, not to chase what is still ripening. Think of fruit. You can pull it early, paint it pretty, and pretend it is ready. It will still be hard, tasteless, and it will rot fast. Timing is ripeness. When a thing is ripe, it yields to a light touch. When it is unripe, you must rip it off the branch, and then you spend weeks trying to make it palatable. Many spend years fixing what they forced in one afternoon. Divine timing saves you from that repair work. It does not punish desire, it protects destiny. Here is a clear way to read timing without superstition. Consider 4 markers. First, peace over pressure. Underneath any sadness or relief, there is a steady calm. If you still need to talk yourself into the decision every hour, timing is not yet mature. Second, path in the next step. You may not see the future, but the very next action is plain, simple, and does not require you to betray your values to take it. Third, pattern of support. The wrong options close without drama. The right resources surface without you begging for them, and conversations land softly instead of exploding. Fourth, prompt without compulsion. There is an inner yes that invites you forward, not a shove from fear behind you. You can test your day against these markers like a pilot checks instruments before takeoff. If one is wildly off, you wait, not in laziness, but in obedience to law. Now guard your language while you wait, because speech can either escort timing or injure it. Do not speak contradictions that cancel your own field. Sentences like, "I knew this wouldn't work," or "If it was meant to be, it would have happened by now." That is not wisdom. That is sabotage. Better to say, "What is mine arrives in right time, right way, without strain. I hold my peace and open my hand." Notice the difference. The first line slams a door. The second holds it ajar without grabbing the handle. Timing needs room. Give it room with words that do not crowd. You may ask, "While I'm waiting, what do I do?" You live in agreement with what you spoke. Agreement looks ordinary and powerful at once. You keep your appointments. You answer emails with clarity instead of neediness. You stop rehearsing goodbye speeches in your mind. You return to simple excellence in the space you still occupy. Divine timing often arrives to those who do small things right when big things feel uncertain. The field reads these small acts as proof you trust order more than adrenaline. The more you behave like someone who believes in timing, the faster timing finds you. Consider a picture simple enough to remember. The ocean has tides. If you fight the outgoing tide to launch your boat, you burn your arms and get nowhere. If you wait for the incoming tide, the same boat that mocked you yesterday glides forward with half the effort. The boat did not change. The tide did. Timing is the tide. Divine order is the moon that pulls it. Your sentence is the sail. Raise the sail, but respect the pull. Someone will say, but I have responsibilities. Can timing ever require speed? Yes, timing can be swift, but it is never frantic. There are moments when clarity comes like a bell and the action is immediate. You will know the difference because peace rides with the speed. You are moving quickly, but nothing inside you is being chased. Even your breath stays steady. That is a signature of right-timed action, swiftness without strain. Let's talk about false timing, the counterfeit that wears a mask of urgency. False timing says, do it now or lose everything. It threatens dignity, isolates you from wise counsel, or asks you to lie to secure the outcome. That is not timing. That is temptation framed as opportunity. Divine timing does not need manipulation to stand. It can bear scrutiny. It welcomes the light. If a window will only open in the dark, it is not a window. It is a trapdoor. Now, how do you speak into timing without trying to control it? You frame your release with 3 elements: identity, order, and allowance. Identity affirms who you are under law. I am led by divine intelligence. Order declares the arrangement. I release this in the right order and right sequence. Allowance invites the outcome without forcing the form. What is mine now finds me by perfect law in perfect time without delay or detour. This is not poetic fluff. It is architecture. Each clause gives builders a blueprint: who to listen to, identity; which plan to follow, order; and the boundaries of delivery, allowance. Say the sentence once with conviction and then live as if it is true. Repeating a decree in panic is not faith. It is fear in costume. Repeating a decree with calm is rhythm. Rhythm keeps time. You can also practice a small timing fast, a simple habit that protects your field. For the next 72 hours after a release, refuse to speak about outcomes except to bless order. If someone asks, "So what's happening?" answer plainly without inviting anxiety. I placed it in order. I'm following the next clear step. This is not secrecy, it is stewardship. New seeds are soft. Keep them out of rough hands until they root. A brief story will make this plain. A young man tried to force a business launch 3 times. Each time, his voice was loud, but his timing was wrong. Contracts were clumsy. Meetings felt like arguments. He called it resistance from enemies. It wasn't. It was misalignment. When he finally spoke release, I returned this plan to order and I welcomed the right hour. His days grew quiet. He stopped chasing and cleaned his books. A month later, the same partner who had been unresponsive replied with a timeline and a budget that actually fit. "What changed?" he asked. "The hour changed. The tide came in. The same work with the same people moved in half the effort because timing had matured." That is how law looks in the wild, not magic, order. What about signs? People love signs so much they ignore sense. Divine timing bears signs that agree with wisdom. A sign that asks you to break the very principles that brought peace is not a sign. It is a distraction. Real signs echo your decree. They reduce noise, not increase it. They confirm clarity instead of creating confusion. They align with your right identity instead of flattering your ego. If you must become someone you do not respect to take the opportunity, the clock you hear ticking is not heaven's, it's fear's. You might wonder, is waiting passive? Number waiting under law is active agreement. You prepare as if the right hour were already announced. You set the table before guests arrive. You save the file with the correct name. You tidy endings with courtesy. You empty your drawers of the past without tantrum. You do not ghost people, you bless them. Divine timing sits well with good manners. It is never rude. It replaces what's leaving with what is fitting, and it does so in a way that lets you look yourself in the mirror tomorrow. When timing is honored, even complicated transitions avoid unnecessary harm. The point is not to avoid all pain. Endings can ache. The point is to avoid damage born of haste and fear. Pain heals when it serves a true change of season. Damage lingers when it serves only a race to escape discomfort. Divine timing chooses the first and spares you the second. Hold this anchor. The law does not ask you to be perfect. It asks you to be in order. If you have pushed, you can stop pushing. If you have spoken in fear, you can cancel that decree and restate it in faith. I revoke every word of panic. I re-enter right order. I release with love, and I receive in right time. Say it once, like you mean it. Then behave like someone who believes it. That is how you walk with timing instead of colliding with it. Finally, remember that divine timing is not just about when, it is about how. The right hour brings the right manner. The tone of emails shifts. The conversations become clear instead of clever. The handshakes feel honest. Even your own face in the mirror looks less hunted. You are not being dragged into your future. You are being invited. Let that be your test. Invitations bear your name and meet you at the door. Demands shout from the street and order you to run. Choose the invitation. Trust the beat. Speak your sentence into order and let time do what time was made to do. Deliver what is yours without breaking who you are. There is a short sentence people throw into the air when they are tired. I give up. They think it is harmless because it is small, but small words can carry heavy law. Under spiritual law, your field does not grade your intention. It records your decree. If you speak I give up as a way to vent, the law does not hear a vent. It hears a verdict. It stamps the order and sets events to match it. That is why some people feel a strange heaviness after saying it. They meant, I am overwhelmed. What the field received was, close the file. Words like these are not decorative. They are directional. They tell your life which way to turn. I give up is dangerous when it is spoken from panic because it functions like a contract with collapse. You can think of it like signing your name at the bottom of a page you did not read. Later, you learn you consented to more than you ever intended. Your relief lasted a few minutes. The consequences lasted months. The problem is not that surrender is wrong. The problem is that the sentence is incomplete. Surrender in law is not abdication. Surrender in law is transfer of control to order. That is why a simple edit can redeem the whole idea. I give up control to divine order. Add those 3 words and the track changes. You are not discarding hope. You are releasing your grip so a wiser hand can steer. Think of a child holding a kite in high wind. If the string burns their fingers, the child may shout, I give up, and let go. The kite is gone, and the child stands crying. But if an adult kneels, unwinds the string from the child's fist, and ties it to a steady post, the kite still flies, only now it is secure. That is the difference between I give up and I give up control to divine order. One drops the line in a storm, the other anchors it to a stronger point. The wind did not change, the handling did. There's another reason I give up binds. It often comes out as a vow. When pain peaks, people say things like, "I'm done with love forever. I will never try again. Nothing good happens for me. I'm finished." Vows feel like strength in the moment because they stop the argument in your head. But under law, vows are fences. They keep out harm, yes, but they also keep out help. You wake up months later and wonder why opportunities pass by you and nothing moves. Your fence is working. It is just keeping out the wrong guests. This is why Florence taught the care of speech with the seriousness of an oath. Words are not decorations on your day. They are the permissions under which your day operates. So what do you do if you have already said, "I give up," in the wrong spirit? You do not panic. You correct the record. Law is precise, not cruel. What is spoken can be revoked and restated. You can treat this like good housekeeping. First, you revoke. I cancel every word of collapse I spoke in fear. Then you restate. I give up control too, divine order, and I receive right guidance, right action, right timing. Then you proceed. You act in a way that matches what you just said. If you keep behaving like someone who gave up on themselves, your mouth and your movement will argue and the field will obey the loudest of the two, usually your behavior. But if your steps agree with your corrected decree, your life will begin to turn with less strain than you expected. People ask, isn't giving up sometimes honest? Honesty is good. Hopelessness dressed as honesty is not. There is a clean way to speak exhaustion without sealing collapse. You can say, I have reached my limit for today. I am placing this matter in order and I will return with a clear head. That is truthful and lawful at the same time. It does not pretend you have unlimited strength. It simply refuses to write a permanent sentence out of a passing feeling. Children can learn this. Instead of, I can't, teach them to say, I can't yet, and I'm learning how. The small add-on keeps the gate open. Let me give you a picture simple enough to carry all week. Imagine your life as a garden with a high gate. I give up is like throwing the gate keys into the weeds. The gate will still open if you fight it, but you will waste time and energy on the hinges. I give up control to divine order is like hanging the keys on a nail beside the gate. The moment your hands are tired, you can rest. The gate is still there. When the right hour comes, you take the keys and walk through. No drama, no lost keys. The difference is stewardship. Sometimes the sentence shows up disguised as humor. I give up. The universe hates me. I give up. Love is a scam. I give up. I'm just unlucky. Jokes like these are cheap ways to cope. We all use them. But under law, repetition trains your field. A sentence repeated as a joke can still become a pattern because your subconscious does not grade for sarcasm. It listens for rhythm. If you make a rhythm of collapse, collapse becomes familiar, and familiarity begins to feel like safety. The mind will choose a familiar cage over an unfamiliar meadow if you let it. So we upgrade the joke without losing the relief. Instead of, I give up, the universe hates me, try, I'm tired, so I'm turning this over to order and I'm going to bed. You still get the laugh. You also keep your gate. Let's examine the anatomy of the dangerous moment so you can catch it in real time. It usually begins with 3 elements piled together: a sharp disappointment, a swollen story about what that disappointment means, and a fast mouth ready to stamp the story with law. The event is small. The story makes it global and permanent. This always happens. The mouth then seals the story. I give up. If you can interrupt the middle piece, the swollen story, you will save the end. Teach yourself to say, "This is one event, not my identity. I place it in order." That single sentence shrinks the problem back to its true size and takes away the mouth's urge to write an unnecessary contract. A short story will make this plain. A man tried to grow a small side business. 3 clients canceled in 1 week. He muttered, "I give up. I'm not cut out for this." That night, he could not sleep. The next morning, he remembered what law does with stray sentences. He sat at his table and said out loud, "I cancel every contract of collapse. I give up control to divine order. Teach me." In the quiet that followed, he realized his offer was unclear. He wrote 1 page that stated what he did in 5 lines. He sent it to the same 3 people without pleading. 2 never answered. 1 replied with a no that contained a reason. He adjusted the offer and sent it to someone else. That person bought. Nothing magical happened. Order happened. The man did not become lucky. He became lawful. You may wonder whether it is ever right to speak a hard no more. Yes, sometimes the cleanest decree is, "I do not consent to this pattern, and I will not participate." That is not "I give up." That is a boundary. Boundaries are doors you close to keep a house safe so the right people can enter through the right entrance. Collapsing is different. Collapsing is boarding up the windows from the inside and calling it safety. A boundary keeps truth in and harm out. Collapse keeps everything out, including help. What about grief? Can grief and law live together? They must. Grief is not a failure of faith. Grief is proof that love was present. You can cry and still refuse to curse your life. You can ache and still speak order. A clean sentence does not ask you to be a machine. It asks you to be consistent. When the heart is heavy, use short words you can carry. I bless what was. I release control. I welcome right timing. Say them softly if you must. Whispered law is still law. Use a simple practice for the next few days. Catch the phrase on your tongue. When the mouth wants to say, "I give up," pause. Put a hand on your chest and breathe once, slow and low. Ask, "What am I really asking for?" If the answer is rest, say rest. The answer is clarity, say clarity. The answer is help, say help. Most of the time, "I give up" is a clumsy way of asking for one of these 3. When you ask cleanly, heaven can answer cleanly. People around you can answer cleanly. Even your own body can respond cleanly. If you have people in your life who say, "I give up" all day long, do not fight them. Model better speech. When they say, "I give up," you can answer, "I hear you're at your limit." Let's place it in order and take the next right step. You are not scolding. You are offering a key. Many people do not lack desire. They lack a sentence they can use when they are tired. Give them one by example. Now, let us anchor a replacement that even a child can remember. The 3-part upgrade is simple. Cancel, bless, allow. Cancel the collapse. I cancel every word I spoke in fear. Bless the pathway. I bless what has been, and I bless what is next. Allow right order. I give up control to divine order, and I receive the right next step. Say it once, steady. Then behave like someone who believes it by doing one small, honest action that moves your day forward. Drink water, answer one email clearly, tidy a single drawer, walk around the block. Small acts do not seem spiritual, but they are exactly how you tell your field, "I am still in motion under law." Remember the most important distinction. You are never asked to give up on yourself. You are asked to give over your need to control outcomes that belong to order. I give up on myself is a lie. I give up control to order is truth. One shuts a door and turns off the lights. The other opens a window and turns on a lamp. In the light, you will see that what looked like the end was a turn. In the light, you will find that help was waiting one clean sentence away. Keep this on your tongue as a ready defense. When the mouth reaches for despair, reach for order instead. I cancel collapse. I bless the path. I give up control to divine order. Say it plainly. Say it without drama. Then let your next small step be your amen. There is a difference between letting go and running away. One is steady power. The other is panic dressed like courage. Readiness is the quiet strength that lets you open your hand without collapsing inside. Desperation is the shaky rush that tries to escape pain by any door, even the wrong one. If you want your release to work under law, you must learn to tell these two apart. Think of fruit on a branch. When it is ripe, the lightest touch is enough. When it is unripe, you have to yank, bruise, and still it tastes bitter. Your life works the same way. Ripeness is not about how loudly you speak. It is about the condition of your inner weather when you speak. Readiness begins with peace, not the kind that means you feel nothing, but the kind that sits under every feeling like a steady floor. You may feel sad, you may feel unsure, you may even feel a little afraid, but below it there is a calm yes. You can recognize this peace by the way your body behaves. Your shoulders lower without you telling them to. Your jaw unclenches. Your breath falls deeper into your belly. Your thoughts stop racing and begin to walk. When peace is present, your sentence does not have to fight. It simply fits, the way a key slides into the right lock. Desperation is the opposite. The chest tightens, the breath is shallow. Your mind is crowded with what-if pictures, and your tongue wants to rush. If your body is broadcasting panic, it is not yet time to make a permanent decree. Next comes truth. Readiness tells the truth about the thing you are releasing and about your own part in it. You can bless what was without rewriting it to look better or worse than it was. You can say, this gave me gifts and this cost me things, and both can be true at once. Desperation cannot do this. Desperation needs a villain so it can feel strong enough to run. If you must turn someone into a monster or yourself into a failure to justify letting go, you are not ready. You are building a story to push yourself out the door. A clean release does not need a costume. It needs a clean sentence. Then there's timing. Readiness accepts time as law, not as a bully. When the hour is right, the next step is plain. You may not see the whole path, but the very next action is simple and does not require you to betray your character to take it. Desperation hates time. It says, if I do not do this now, I will lose everything, and it tries to stampede you past wisdom. You can test this easily. Ask, if I waited one day to speak, would this burn down? If the only thing holding a situation together is your panic, it is already broken. If one day of patience would actually make your sentence cleaner, the law is telling you to wait and prepare. Readiness can be measured in the mouth. Pay attention to your unguarded speech, the words that fall out when you are driving or cooking. Do you hear blessing for the past and permission for the future? Or do you hear bargaining, pleading, and threats? If this does not work, I swear I'm done with everything, is not readiness. It is a tantrum rehearsed in advance. I bless what has been, and I make room for what fits. Sounds simple because power does not need decoration. Try a small trial. Say your intended release sentence quietly in a room alone. I release this with love. I welcome right order. As you speak, scan your body and your thoughts. If your chest loosens, if your breath deepens, if your face softens, you are close. If your shoulders climb and your mind starts writing a speech to defend yourself, you are not close yet. Prepare more. There are outer signs too. When you are ready, wrong doors close without explosions. You do not need to throw plates for a season to end. Conversations land softly even if they are firm. The right help appears without you begging it to stay. Emails are answered with clarity or silence, and both feel like information, not rejection. When you are not ready, every attempt to move creates drama. Small tasks turn into fights. People who have never argued with you suddenly do. Machines break. You keep missing buses. Do not call this bad luck. Call it feedback. Life is showing you that your inner state is not aligned with your outer plan. Desperation leaves a trail of small wrecks. Readiness leaves a trail of clean edges. A simple picture will keep you honest. Imagine you are standing at a river with a boat. The water is going out. You can drag and sweat and complain, and maybe you move a little, but mostly you grind the keel into the mud. That is desperation. Or you can wait for the tide to turn. You will still have to steer. You will still have to push off the bank. But when the incoming water takes hold, the same boat that mocked you glides forward quietly. Readiness is the incoming tide. It does not make work disappear. It makes the work fit. Because you are human, there will be days when you cannot tell which state you are in. Use 3 small tests that even a child can understand. The first is the breath test. Close your eyes. Put a hand on your chest. Say the sentence you plan to speak and take 1 slow breath. If the breath gets longer and easier, you are ripening. If the breath catches or you feel like you are pushing air up a hill, you need more time. The second is the blessing test. Name 3 honest blessings you received from the thing you plan to release. If you cannot find any, you are still angry and your sentence will be a weapon, not a key. Wait until you can bless without choking. The third is the next step test. Write the very next small action that would match your release. If you do not know what it is, you are trying to leap across a river in 1 jump. Find the stone you can step on today. Readiness knows the next stone. While you are preparing, watch for counterfeits. False readiness wears urgency like a costume. It isolates you from wise counsel and says there is no time to think. It asks you to lie just this once to keep the plan intact. It flatters your ego to keep you moving. It tells you pain will end if you just make 1 big dramatic gesture. True readiness does none of this. It can handle light. It invites wise eyes. It is willing to sleep on it. If a window only opens when you switch off your conscience, it is not a window. It is a trapdoor. Preparation itself is simple. You do not earn readiness by suffering. You build it by bringing your body, your words, and your space into order. Begin with your body. Eat a simple meal, drink water, walk for 20 minutes without your phone. These are not side tasks. They are signals to your nervous system that you are safe enough to choose. Then clear 1 small area you control, a drawer, a bag, a shelf. Touch each thing, say thank you, and let go of what you no longer use. This is practice for your mouth and your hands. You are teaching yourself that letting go can be gentle. Finally, clean your language for 3 days. No complaining about the situation you plan to release. If someone asks you for an update, answer in order. I placed it in order. I'm taking the next right step. You are not hiding. You are protecting new seed from rough handling until it roots. If fear rises while you prepare, do not pretend it is not there. Name it without bowing to it. I am afraid of being alone. I am afraid of losing money. I am afraid of being wrong. Then answer each fear with order. I release control and welcome right companions. I release panic and welcome right provision. I release pride and welcome right guidance. You're not arguing with feelings. You're giving your feelings a cleaner leader to follow. Children can learn this. Adults need to remember it. Sometimes people ask, how do I know I am not just avoiding? Avoidance is simple to spot. Avoidance keeps you in limbo. It lets you do nothing while calling it preparation. Readiness looks different. Readiness moves. Even before the big sentence is spoken, small, honest actions begin. You stop checking your phone for a message you know will not change the truth. You stop replaying arguments in your head. You tidy paperwork. You answer what actually belongs to you and stop managing what never did. Avoidance keeps secrets and grows mold. Readiness opens windows and lets air in. There will be areas where you cannot control outcomes, and that is exactly where law protects you most when you stay in order. If a door must close, it will close whether you shout or whisper. If a door must open, it will open without you begging at the handle. Your job is to speak once, cleanly, when the ripeness is real, and then walk in the same direction as your words. If you stumble, you do not tear up the decree. You steady yourself and keep walking. Law honors consistency more than performance. It helps to keep a small readiness log for 1 week before a major release. Each night, write 3 lines. What you blessed from the day, what tiny thing you let go of, and what next clear step appeared. This log will show you a pattern. If blessings grow, clutter shrinks, and steps appear, you are ripening. If cursing grows, clutter piles, and steps vanish, you are forcing. You do not need a counselor to read this log. A child could circle the right arrow. When the day arrives and the signs align, peace underneath, truth in the mouth, timing in the step, you will notice that you no longer crave a speech. Readiness does not need a performance. It needs a sentence. It will feel almost ordinary, like placing a key on a hook where it belongs. You will say, I release this with love. I welcome right order, right timing, right form. Then you will take the next simple action that agrees. Send an honest email, set a clean boundary, throw away the extra key you kept, just in case. Cancel the auto-renew, pack the box, schedule the meeting. None of these look like fireworks. All of them sound like law. Do not be surprised if waves of feeling arrive after a clean release. That is normal. Feeling is not failure. Let the waves pass over a steady floor. When a sharp thought tries to turn your decree into a debate, return to your anchor. Peace underneath, truth in the mouth, timing in the step. You are not required to explain your decision to every voice in your head or every person in your life. Courtesy is good. Law is better. If you must speak, speak short and kind. If you can be silent, be silent. The word you already released is working. Your job is to stop pulling it out of the ground to check the roots. Remember the image of the fruit. No farmer yanks at green fruit and calls it bravery. He watches. He feels the weight. He waits for the color. Then, when the day comes, he touches the stem and it lets go. That is what readiness feels like. The same stem you could not break yesterday releases into your palm today with almost no effort. The fruit is not lost. It is fulfilled. In the same way, when your soul is ripe, Your release does not feel like tearing yourself apart. It feels like handing yourself back to order. It tastes like honesty. It leaves room in your hands for what fits. And because you released in law, what comes next can find you without delay, without disguise, and without damage. You do not need long speeches to change a season. You need clean sentences that the law can carry without confusion. A decree is a short, lawful order you speak aloud that blesses what was, releases control, and invites right order to take its place. The power of a decree is not in how dramatic it sounds, it is in how exact it is. Children understand this. If a child says, "I'm done with the game," and hands the ball back without kicking it, the game ends cleanly and a new one can begin. If the child throws the ball at someone's head and runs away, the game drags on in a fight. Your life responds the same way. Speak cleanly, move cleanly, doors open cleanly. A decree that opens a door has 3 parts inside it, even if you say them in one breath. Identity anchors who is speaking. Order announces what you are doing in law. Allowance makes space for the right form to arrive. When you say, "I release this with love and welcome right order," you are quietly saying, "I am a person led by divine intelligence. I am placing this matter into law. I am allowing the correct form and timing to appear without forcing." Keep those 3 in mind as you choose your words. They are the blueprint the unseen builders follow. Before we set words in your mouth, set posture in your body so your tone agrees. Stand or sit straight. Unclench your jaw. Place one hand on your chest, one on your belly, and take a slow breath in and a slow breath out. Speak evenly, not fast. Think of a judge reading a verdict. Calm, exact, final. You are not begging. You are not bargaining. You are not threatening. You are declaring. One clear sentence delivered once with authority is stronger than a dozen sentences shouted in panic. You can repeat a decree later as rhythm, but do not turn it into a chant to drown out fear. Say it, then behave as if it is true. That behavior is the echo that tells the field you meant it. Use these simple, lawful sentences as tools. Each one has a specific job, so pick the one that fits the scene instead of mixing 12 ideas in one breath. First is the core release. I release this with love and gratitude. I place it in right order. This sentence closes a chapter without cursing it. Gratitude dismantles resentment. Placing it in order removes the burden to micromanage what happens next. Second is the closure decree. I bless what has been, and I close this door cleanly under divine law. Use this when you need a clean edge so both sides can be at peace. Third is the allowance decree. I make room for my right good now. What is mine finds me by perfect law, in perfect time, without strain. This opens space without grabbing at names, faces, or dates. You invite form without forcing it. There's also a substitution decree because empty space often calls back the old pattern unless you tell it what to hold instead. I lay down fear and take up truth. I lay down control and take up trust. I lay down smallness and take up my right identity. Say one pair at a time and keep it honest to your case. You are not pretending you never feel fear. You are choosing which leader your day will follow. Finally, use a protection decree so you do not undo your own work by habit. I cancel every word of panic. My speech stays aligned with order. My next step agrees with my decree. This keeps your mouth from dragging you backward after a clean moment. If you catch yourself slipping, revoke and restate without drama and keep moving. You can tailor each decree to a type of release, so even a child could match words to moments. For relationships, do not name people as if your sentence controls them. Law governs you, not other people's will. Say, I bless what we shared. I release my grip. I welcome honest love that fits who I am becoming. That keeps your field clean and stops you from throwing hooks into someone else. For work, avoid vague wishes. Say, I release roles that shrink me. I welcome right work where my voice and value fit, arriving in right time with right pay. For beliefs and identities that no longer fit, keep it simple and clear. I retire the story that I must suffer to be worthy. I accept the truth that I am guided, provided for, and safe to grow. The shorter and cleaner the decree, the easier it is to live by it for the next hour. You may wonder how many sentences to say. Use 1 to 3. Any more, and you start mixing instructions. Imagine giving a delivery driver directions. Turn right on Elm, left on Pine, stop at the blue house. Clear. If you add 5 extra streets and a story about your childhood, the driver misses the turn. Your life also misses turns when you talk too much. Say less and mean more. There is a rhythm that makes decrees land, and it is not complicated. Breathe in, say the decree on the out-breath, then wait for 1 quiet beat before you move. That small beat is agreement settling into your body. If you jump up fast, you teach yourself that your words are not enough. If you sit for hours waiting for fireworks, you teach yourself that your words did nothing. Breathe, speak, pause, act. Keep that order, and your day will start to feel like a steady drum instead of a siren. Let's put this into a simple scene. You have a box of things from a past season that keeps pulling your attention back. Stand by the box. Rest your hands on it. Breathe. Say, I bless what was. I release this with love. I make room for right good. Wait 1 beat, then act. Sort the box. Throw away what is trash. Give what is useful. Keep 1 honest keepsake if it still brings peace. And close the lid. The decree did not move the box. You did. But the decree told your body and your mind which direction to move, so the action became clean and quiet instead of heavy and sad. This is how doors open, a sentence and a step that match. When a decree is about a long attachment, expect feelings to rise after you speak. That is not a sign you failed. It is a sign the ground is turning. Let the feelings move across a steady floor. Do not answer them with a new contract of collapse. If a sharp thought says, you made a mistake, answer with order. My word stands. Right order catches me. Keep your day simple and concrete. Drink water, handle a small task, walk outside, answer 1 email kindly. These small acts are not distractions. They are the way you keep your lane clear so timing can meet you. If you need a 1-line decree for a day you feel fragile, keep this on your tongue because it does 3 jobs at once. I release with love. I surrender control. I receive in right time. It closes, transfers, and opens. You can say it under your breath in a hallway or over your sink. Do not dramatize it. Let it be a normal sentence you trust. Law prefers plain speech. Teach children the same pattern with even simpler words. Thank you, goodbye, hello. Thank you to what was. Goodbye to holding on. Hello to what fits. A child can speak that at a toy bin. An adult can speak the same spirit at a desk, a door, or a diary. The size of the object changes. The law does not. If you work with lists, write 3 decrees on a card and keep it where your hand can find it. The first for closing, the second for allowing, the third for protection. Use them in that order when you feel the day pulling you back to old habits. Do not argue with the pull. Answer it with sequence: close, allow, protect. After a few days, you will notice your mouth reaching for these lines on its own and your body following. That is the sign the decree has moved from an idea to a practice. Be careful with revenge disguised as release. If you are trying to hurt someone with your sentence, your decree is not clean, and the door you open will not be a good door. Do not curse what you are leaving. Bless it and walk. The blessing is not for their sake, it is for yours. Curses stick to the one who speaks them. Blessings clear your own field. When you do not know which decree to use, ask one question. What is the smallest honest next door I want to open? If the answer is rest, decree rest. I release the need to fix everything tonight. I receive rest and right guidance in the morning. If the answer is clarity, decree clarity. I release confusion and welcome a simple next step. If the answer is help, decree help. I release pride and welcome wise support. Specific and small is stronger than vague and grand. Doors open one hinge at a time. There is a final seal you can use at the end of any release moment so your day knows what to do with itself. It is done in order. Not, I hope it worked. Not, we'll see. It is done in order. Those 4 words do not brag. They settle. They tell your mind to stop picking at the decision and your mouth to stop re-arguing your case with people who were not there when you decided. Let the sentence end the scene. Put the period on it. Then go do the next ordinary right thing and let time bring the results to your feet. If someone presses you to explain why you are so calm, you do not need to perform. Say, I placed it in order. That is not secretive. It is precise. People who love drama will try to pull you into a speech. Decline. You are not a defendant. You are a person who used their authority. Keep your language simple and your pace steady. This is how decrees turn into doors without breaking the frame. Remember the core idea. A decree is not magic words. It is a lawful instruction spoken by someone who knows who they are. You are not giving up on yourself. You are giving over your need to control what only order can manage. Your words bless the past, open space, and invite fitting good to arrive. When the words are clean and the steps match, the next door finds you unlocked. You do not have to kick it. You do not have to chase it. You meet it because you spoke like someone who expects the house to be in order. Preparation is not extra. Preparation is law. The inner work you do before and after a decree decides whether your words land like seeds in soil or like seeds on stone. Think of a field. If the ground is hard, even perfect seed struggles. If the ground is soft, even simple seed grows. Your breath softens the ground. Your vision clears the rows. Your alignment keeps weeds from stealing the harvest. This is not mystical or complicated. A child can learn it. You slow your body, you aim your mind, you choose your words, and you act in the same direction. That is how you make a clean space inside so order can move outside. Start with breath because breath tells your whole system. We are safe enough to choose. Sit or stand with your back tall, feet flat, one hand on your chest and one on your belly. Close your mouth gently. Breathe in through your nose for a count of 4, feeling your lower hand rise. Hold for 2. Breathe out for a count of 6. Do this 3 times. Call it the gate breath. In on 4, hold on 2, out on 6. The long exhale tells your nervous system to stop bracing. When the body stops bracing, the mind stops rushing, and the mouth stops reaching for dramatic sentences. If numbers distract you, use words. Inhale and think, order. Exhale and think, release. Do 3 slow rounds. You're not casting a spell. You are steadying your instrument. Now set your vision. Vision is not fantasy. Vision is a simple picture that teaches your heart what your words mean. Use one of these 3 images. Choose the one that feels clean to you. First, the mailbox. See yourself writing your decree on a clear card. You place the card in a mailbox labeled Divine Order. You hear the soft click of the door. Your job is done. Delivery is not your job. Second, the ledger. Picture a calm clerk at a long desk. You speak your sentence, and the clerk stamps it, filed in order. No drama, no pleading, stamped and done. Third, the garden. See a small seed in your palm. You press it into good soil, cover it, water it once, and leave it in peace. You do not dig it up to check it. The picture you choose becomes the path your feelings take when they try to argue. When fear says nothing is happening, your mind answers, it has been mailed, or it has been filed, or it has been planted. Simple pictures keep you honest. Then check alignment. Alignment is a short checklist that keeps you from speaking against yourself. Think of 3 small lights on a dashboard. Peace, truth, next step. Peace means there is a quiet yes under whatever emotion you feel. Truth means you can bless what was without turning anyone into a monster to justify leaving. Next step means you see one small action that matches your decree and does not ask you to betray your character. If all 3 lights are green, your field is ready. If one light is red, you wait. Waiting is not weakness. Waiting is wisdom in action. Use the time to breathe, to bless, and to name the next honest step. Clear your room the way you clear your heart. Order outside helps order inside. Choose a small, clean surface, a corner of a desk or a table. Place a glass of water, a pen, and 1 sheet of paper. On the paper, write your single clean sentence, no more than 2 lines. I release this with love and gratitude. I place it in right order and welcome my right good in right time. Read it aloud once in a calm voice. Fold the paper and place it under the glass. The water is there for you to sip afterward as a physical sign that your decree is inside you now, not just on a page. When you finish, put the pen away and move on with your day. You do not need candles, long speeches, or perfect silence. You need clarity, courtesy, and completion. Guard your mouth for a short window after you decree. New seed is soft. For the next 72 hours, speak about the matter only in ways that bless order. If someone asks, "So what's happening?" answer, "I placed it in order. I'm taking the next right step." You are not hiding, you are stewarding. If you catch yourself slipping into panic talk, use a quick repair, RRP, revoke, restate, proceed. Revoke, I cancel every word of fear. Restate, my decree stands. It is filed in order. Proceed, do one small action that agrees. Send an honest email, tidy a folder, drink water, take a short walk. Action in agreement is how you tell your field you meant what you said. Make a tiny daily rhythm so preparation becomes normal. Morning, 1 minute of gate breath and 1 sentence of identity. I am led by divine intelligence today. Midday, 1 quiet ledger image and 1 sentence of allowance. What is mine finds me in right time without strain. Night, 1 garden image and 1 closing seal. It is planted, it is done in order. This takes less than 5 minutes total, spread across the day. The point is not performance, the point is rhythm. Rhythm teaches your mind that order is your home base. If strong feelings rise, do not pretend. Use the SBL method, stop, bless, lead. Stop means pause one breath before you speak. Bless means name one honest good you received from the chapter you are ending. Lead means give your feelings a leader to follow with one short line of law. I choose peace, my decree stands. Feelings do not respect lectures. They respect steady leaders. SBL gives them one. Use the body to help the heart. Walk for 10 minutes without your phone. Drink a glass of water. Put both feet flat on the floor and press your toes down for 5 seconds. These tiny moves tell your body, we are here, we are safe, we can choose. A calm body makes clean speech easier. Clean speech makes clean timing easier. Clean timing makes outcomes cleaner. This is how order builds on itself. Teach the same pattern to a child with simple words and simple tasks. Breathe slow, say thank you, goodbye, hello. Put one toy back and choose one new game. Adults do the same at a desk. Breathe slow, say I bless, I release, I receive. Clear one file and take one next step. The size of the object changes. The law does not. If you need a stronger picture on hard days, use the room key. Imagine a hotel hallway with many doors. The door you keep fighting is not your room. The key will not turn because it does not belong to you anymore. Instead of kicking it, you walk to the front desk, divine order, say your name, and receive the key that fits. You go to that door. It opens smoothly. Inside is a room that actually matches you. The bed fits. The light switch is where you expect it. You can rest. That is how right doors feel, not forced, fitting. Keep a short inner sanctuary card where your hand can find it. On one side, write the gate breath counts. In 4, hold 2, out 6 times 3. On the other side, write one clean decree and the seal. I release with love. I place it in order. It is done in order. When the day gets loud, you do not need a paragraph. You need your card. Breathe, read, seal, move. Avoid 2 common traps. First, do not use vision to control other people. You may bless them, you may release them, but you do not picture them obeying you. Order governs you, not their will. Second, do not turn the ritual into superstition. If the glass of water spills or someone interrupts your minute, you did not break the law. Smile, reset, and finish. Law honors sincerity and consistency, not perfection. Finally, remember why you prepare. You prepare so your decree is simple, your mood is steady, your step is honest, and your day knows what to do next. Preparation takes minutes and saves months. It keeps you from signing contracts with panic. It keeps you from digging up good seed. It keeps you in rhythm with the timing that actually fits your life. When breath is calm, vision is clear, and alignment is green, your one clean sentence can do its work. You will not need to push the river. You will not need to chase doors. You will speak, you will seal, and you will walk, and you will watch how often the world answers a prepared heart with a prepared path. Surrender is not the end of power. It is where power begins. When you give up control to divine order, you are not shrinking. You are stepping into the only place where your words carry full weight. Control scatters your strength across 1,000 worries. Surrender gathers it. Control makes you push. Surrender makes you precise. The moment you release with love, your authority changes rooms. You stop yelling at locks and you start holding the right keys. Your voice becomes calm and the field recognizes command. Peace is not weakness here. Peace is evidence that you are standing under the right authority. Identity makes that authority visible. Who you say you are decides how your day listens to you. If you keep calling yourself a victim, your mouth will ask for rescue and your steps will obey fear. If you call yourself aligned, your mouth will issue law and your steps will follow order. A child can understand this. When a child says, "I am the helper today," their hands start helping. When a child says, "I can't," their hands stop. Your life does the same. Identity is not a wish. It is a role you accept under law. Speak it first, then let your day fall in line. Here is a simple identity code you can carry anywhere. Who I am, whose I am, what authority I hold, who I am whole, guided, and in order. Whose I am belong to divine love and divine intelligence. What authority I hold, I decree with a lawful tongue, and I walk in peace. You can speak this in the car, in a hallway, or under your breath at a desk. It is not a performance, it is a badge. It tells your own mind which voice to listen to when fear tries to take the chair. Scripture is not decoration, it is alignment. My grace is sufficient for thee. My strength is made perfect in weakness. That is not a sentence about failing. It is a sentence about transfer. When you stop pretending to be your own source, grace flows. Be still and know that I am God. Still does not mean silent forever. Still means stop thrashing so you can hear the next lawful step. I will make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. A way is a path, not a magic carpet. Surrender sets you on that path. Identity keeps you walking it. Sovereignty guards it so you do not wander back into the thorn bushes. Sovereignty is your right to say yes and no from a place of order. It is not pride and it is not hardness. It is the refusal to sell your peace to keep approval. It is the steady habit of putting your name only on contracts you can keep with a clean heart. A sovereign person does not threaten. A sovereign person does not beg. A sovereign person speaks few words and stands inside them. This is how you carry your crown in daily life without drama. Begin with boundaries that sound like law rather than fights. I do not consent to chaos. I will not participate in this pattern. I require clarity to move forward. These lines do not attack. They define terms. You are not controlling other people with these sentences. You are stating the conditions under which your peace remains. If someone cannot meet those conditions, your boundary closes the door without slamming it on their fingers. You bless and step aside. Your crown stays on. Use the crown test before you answer hard messages or enter hard rooms. Ask, does this action keep my crown on? Your crown is your peace. If the email you are about to send pulls you into old tone, pleading, blaming, performing, your crown will slip. Do not send it yet. Breathe. Restate your identity. Trim the words to facts, courtesy, and a clear request. A crown stays on a level head. If your head is hot, cool it before you write. 10 minutes of delay can save 10 weeks of repair. Let identity lead the next conversation you are dreading. Suppose you must say a clean goodbye or set a new standard. First, breathe. Then speak your identity code under your breath. Then choose one sentence that states truth without theater. This arrangement no longer fits. I'm closing it cleanly and wishing you well. If pressed for reasons, give one simple, honest reason that does not injure anyone's dignity. Do not over-explain. Do not rehearse a case as if you are on trial. You are not on trial. You are writing the last line in a chapter and sealing it with order. Power after surrender shows up in small, ordinary wins that add up. You sleep deeper. You answer messages with clarity. You keep simple promises to yourself. You stop chasing people to make them understand you, and you start choosing rooms that already do. Your face looks less hunted in the mirror. Your calendar begins to reflect what you value instead of what you fear. None of this is loud, and that is the point. Real authority does not need volume. It needs agreement between your words and your walk. To guard that agreement, install a sovereignty ritual you can do in 2 minutes. Morning, identity. I am whole. I am led. I am in order. Noon, boundary. I do not consent to chaos. I protect my peace. Night, seal. What I released stays released. What is mine arrives in right time. Write these on a card. Say them gently, not as a chant, but as a reminder. Then let your next small action match. Drink water, tidy one surface, send one clean message. These small acts are not busy work. They are how law sees you are serious. Watch for 2 counterfeits. The first is false strength. False strength is loud, sarcastic, and always needs an audience. It looks like sovereignty, but spends peace like coin to win moments. True sovereignty can walk away quietly without slamming the door because the authority is internal, not borrowed from applause. The second counterfeit is false humility. False humility calls good too much, calls peace selfish, and calls clear boundaries cold. It keeps you small so you will be easy to manage. You were not made to be hard, but you were not made to be handled. You were made to be governed from within by right order. That is humility in law. You serve the right master, not every mood in the room. If grief visits while you practice sovereignty, make room for it. Grief is not the enemy of power. Grief keeps your power human. You can cry and still speak cleanly. You can ache and still refuse to curse your future. When grief peaks, shorten your language to something you can carry. I am held. I am led. I am safe to grow. Say it softly. Sit for a moment. Then do one small right thing. Eat a simple meal. Step into the light outside. Touch the top of a door and thank the house that shelters you. These little moves stop the mind from riding a global collapse out of a local wave. Identity also protects your giving. A sovereign person is generous without being drained because they give from order. Before you say yes, ask, do I have lawful room to say yes? If the answer is no, say, I can't this time, but I bless your success. Not every need is your assignment. Not every invitation is your door. Saying no with a clean heart protects your future yes. This is adult power a child can understand. You keep your word by keeping your limits. Now declare a few short lines you can use when the day tries to pull you back into old contracts. I revoke every agreement with panic. I stand in right identity. I walk in peace and authority. My speech is law and my steps agree. Speak them without anger. Speak them like you mean them. Then act once in the same direction. The action, not the volume, seals the line. You will notice that the more you live this way, the less you need to explain yourself. Your friends will feel the difference. Your work will show the difference. Opportunities will filter themselves. Some will fall away because they require your old shape to fit. Let them. Your old shape was the price of admission to rooms that never fed you. New rooms ask for your real shape. Sovereignty is how you keep it. If you must choose one picture to carry out of this part, choose the courtroom. You enter not as a defendant begging for mercy, but as an officer of peace. You lay one page on the bench, your decree. The clerk stamps it, filed in order. You thank the court and you leave. You do not linger in the hallway arguing with strangers about your case. You go home and live as if your filing matters. This is how power feels after surrender. Simple, lawful, steady. No chase, no show. Just light in your step and weight in your word. Close this moment with a seal you can return to when the day gets noisy. I am whole. I am led. I am under right order. I keep my crown. Let that sentence sit in your chest like a warm stone. Let your shoulders lower, let your breath drop. Then go do one ordinary right thing. Fold a shirt, wash a dish, answer an email with courtesy. This is not small, this is sovereignty made visible. When your identity is settled, your scripture is alive in you and your crown stays on. The world does not have to be perfect for you to walk in power. You will carry the order you serve, and the order you serve will carry you. This is a simple, lawful plan you can follow for 1 week to turn clean words into a clean change. It is not about drama. It is about rhythm. Each day has one focus, 3 short touch points, and 1 small action. Speak once with authority, then live like you meant it. If you slip, you do not start over in shame. You repair in order and keep walking. First, the daily frame you will repeat all 7 days. Morning, 3 minutes. Do the gate breath. In 4, hold 2, out 6 times 3. Say 1 identity line. I am led by divine intelligence, and speak your core decree once. I release this with love and gratitude. I place it in right order and welcome my right good in right time. Take 1 small action that agrees. Midday, 90 seconds. Picture the ledger, your decree stamped, filed in order. And say the allowance line. What is mine finds me without strain. Then check your 3 dashboard lights. Peace, truth, next step. If 1 is red, use RRP, revoke, restate, proceed. Night, 5 minutes. Picture the garden, seed and soil. Bless 1 honest good from the day. Write a single next step for tomorrow and seal. It is done in order. Day 1 is consent and clarity. You choose 1 attachment to address this week, not 10. 1. Write a single clean sentence in 2 lines or less. Read it aloud once in a calm voice. Begin your 72-hour speech guard. You will only speak of this matter to bless order. If someone asks, "What's happening?" say, "I placed it in order." I'm taking the next right step. Put 1 small area in order, a drawer, a bag, or your inbox's top 10 emails. You are telling your field, I am serious. Start a simple log with 3 lines each night. What you blessed, what you released, the next clear step. Day 2 is substitution. Empty space calls back the old pattern unless you tell it what to hold. Use simple pairs said out loud. I lay down fear and take up truth. I lay down control and take up trust. I lay down smallness and take up my right identity. Choose 1 pair that fits your case and live it for 24 hours. If your release involves a person, do not aim your decree at their will. Keep the language in your lane. I bless what we shared. I release my grip. I welcome honest love that fits who I am becoming. Set 1 clean boundary with courtesy. A short line is enough. I won't be able to continue this arrangement. I'm closing this chapter cleanly and wishing you well. Day 3 is timing trust. Today you stop forcing. No chasing, no testing, no secret checks, just to see. If you promised yourself not to look, you do not look. If someone presses you for details, answer plainly. I placed it in order. Return to simple excellence where you stand. Keep appointments, finish small tasks, write 1 clear message you avoided. Replace talk traps like, if this was meant to be, it would have happened by now, with what is mine arrives in right time, right way, without strain. If urgency tries to push you, run the breath once and ask, if I waited 1 day, would this collapse or become cleaner? Let that answer lead you. Day 4 is repair and reinforce. This is the day you expect human slips and fix them quickly. If you spoke in fear, use RRP. Revoke. I cancel every word of panic. Restate. My decree stands. It is filed in order. Proceed. One action that agrees. Send an honest note. Tidy a folder. Drink water. Take a 10-minute walk. If you caused harm in haste, make a small restitution now, not later. You are not punishing yourself. You are closing edges cleanly. Clean one more surface in your space and return one item you no longer need. Let your hands practice letting go so your mouth can keep doing it. Day 5 is new lane. Release is not retreat. It is a turn. Today you take one step in the direction your decree already pointed. Apply once, pitch once, book one call, write one page, sign up for the class you kept saving for later. Use a line that fits work and calling. I welcome right work where my voice and value fit, arriving in right time with right pay. Keep it practical. Do not spray 20 messages from panic. Send one honest message and then go do something ordinary and good. The law reads steady steps better than loud bursts. Day 6 is return and generosity. The law of compensation says nothing real is lost. You bless and you watch what returns in better form. Practice a small gift today without announcing it. Give an hour to help, a book, a tool you are not using, or a simple kindness to someone who cannot repay you. Speak. As I release with love, I receive in right form. I circulate good and good returns to me multiplied by law. Let go of one physical thing tied to the old chapter and thank it out loud. Your heart will feel the space. Your field will read the signal. Day 7 is audit and seal. Read your simple log. Circle proof of progress. Moments of peace, clean edges, closed loops. One new opening, one small return. Progress is not only outcomes, it is also the way your mouth and steps now agree. Note 3 signs that matter to you. I slept deeper. I answered without pleading. I did not chase. Decide the next structure. Repeat the same target for 7 more days if it is large, or move to maintenance if it is complete. Maintenance is light. Repeat the daily frame. Keep the 72-hour speech guard anytime you release something new, and do a weekly shelf clean to keep your hands trained. Close with a plain seal. I release with love. I surrender control. I receive in right time. It is done in order. Vigilance is how you keep the door from swinging back open. Triggers will try to drag you into old tone, late nights, old places, certain songs, certain threads. Write 3 you know and one healthy swap for each. Walk instead of scroll. Water instead of more coffee. One call to a wise friend instead of replaying arguments in your head. When a hard wave hits, use SBL. Stop for one breath. Bless one good that chapter gave you. Lead your feeling with one short line. I choose peace. My decree stands. Keep a pocket inner sanctuary card. Front, gate breath counts. Back, I release with love. I place it in order. It is done in order. You do not need a speech on a bad day. You need your card. Guard your language around humor and tired hours. Jokes like, I give up, the universe hates me, train collapse, even when you smile. Upgrade the joke. I'm tired. I'm turning this over to order and going to bed. That line gives you the relief without writing a bad contract. If someone around you lives in I give up, do not fight them. Model better speech. You sound at your limit. Let's place it in order and take the next right step. Simpler words help more than lectures. Use the crown test before you hit send or say yes. Ask, does this keep my crown on? Your crown is your peace. If the message is needy, blaming, or trying to force timing, it will knock your crown. Cool your head, trim the line to facts and courtesy, and state a clear request or a clean no. A crown stays on a level head. If panic flares in public, run the 1-minute rescue. Step aside. Gate breath once. Whisper, filed in order. Touch something solid, a table edge, your keys, to remind your body where you are. Say the protection line under your breath. I cancel every word of panic. My speech stays aligned with order. My next step agrees with my decree. Return and do one small right thing. This is not hiding. This is stewardship of your state. Keep a short scorecard for the week. Each night, mark yes or no. Did I bless something? Did I release something small? Did I take one next step? Did I guard my speech for the 72 hours? 4 simple checks. 4 yeses mean you are in rhythm. 2 or fewer yeses mean tomorrow you simplify. You remove extras, you return to breath and one clean sentence, and you take only one honest step. Complicated plans fail tired people. Lawful plans fit. Remember the guardrails. You do not use decrees to control people. You do not turn rituals into superstition. You do not pretend you feel nothing. You tell the truth kindly and briefly. You plant, you water, you let time do its work. If you feel grief, you let it move across a steady floor. If you feel pride trying to perform, you lower your volume and raise your accuracy. Fewer sentences, more weight. At the end of 7 days, read your log and notice the pattern. Even if the big result is still ripening, the ground has changed. Less rush in your chest, fewer arguments in your head, clearer steps under your feet. That is not small, that is the field-obeying law. Speak the final seal slowly, like you mean it and like you are done arguing with yourself. I release with love. I surrender control. I receive in right time. It is done in order. Then go do one ordinary right thing. Dish, a walk, a simple email. That small action is your amen. A chapter is not closed because you cried, argued, or felt finished. A chapter is closed because you sealed it. The seal is the quiet act that makes the decree final. It ends the discussion your mind keeps trying to restart. It stops your mouth from rewriting the contract. It hands the file to order and removes it from your desk. Sealing is not loud. It is lawful. It is the difference between I hope and it is done in order. Think of a letter you've written with care. Until you seal the envelope, anyone can slide the page back out and edit it. When you place the seal, the content is protected and delivery can begin. Everything you have learned about release leads to this one move. Readiness steadies your hand. Divine timing sets the hour. Clean decrees give clear instructions. Preparation calms your instrument. Sovereignty keeps your crown on as you walk away. The seal gathers all of it into a single finished act. Here is how sealing works in a life that still has bills to pay, people to meet, and messages to answer. No drama, just order. First, you revoke anything spoken in fear that might still be floating in the air. You do this once, like good housekeeping, without panic. I cancel every word of collapse. I withdraw every sentence spoken in haste. Second, you restate the decree as the final text on the page. I release this with love and gratitude. I surrender control to divine order. I receive my right good in right time. Third, you seal. It is done in order. Then you stop talking about outcomes for a short, respectful window, and you behave like someone who believes their own signature. The seal does 3 jobs at once. It closes what must not be reopened by habit. It protects the decree from casual contradictions. It escorts the matter out of your hands and into timing without you chasing it down the hallway. Many people delay their own good by revising sealed pages. They tell 5 new versions of the story to 5 new listeners and wonder why the field keeps taking fresh instructions. Do not keep dictating new paragraphs to a file you already mailed. If someone presses you for details, answer courteously and briefly. It's placed in order. I'm taking the next right step. Courtesy is not secrecy, it is stewardship. What happens after a clean seal is rarely theatrical. Good returns quietly because it does not need to prove itself. You will notice simple signs. A conversation that used to spin now lands in one sentence. A door that demanded effort now shuts without a fight. The next correct door is not noisy. It is obvious. An expense you dreaded resolves in a way you can afford. A person who needed you to beg for attention no longer occupies your mind. Sleep begins to feel like sleep again. None of this is luck. This is a house that has been put back in order, slowly becoming pleasant to live in. Do not be surprised if old patterns knock once more, the way a door rattles after you lock it. Patterns check locks. That is their nature. Your job is not to hold the knob, it is to trust the lock. When an old thought says, undo it, call back what you released. Answer with the seal, not an argument. It is done in order. Then do one small, ordinary right thing. Wash one dish, send one clear email, put one item away. That small act is how you keep the hinge from loosening. Your nervous system learns faster from action than from speeches. Because the mouth is the gate, you protect it with 2 guards for the first 72 hours after the seal. The first guard is language, no forecasting collapse, no bargaining with outcomes, no dramatic vows that turn boundaries into cages. If you catch a slip, use the quick repair you already know. Revoke, restate, proceed. The second guard is humor. Keep your jokes from training your field against you. Upgrade, I give up, the universe hates me, to I'm tired, I've placed it in order, and I'm going to bed. Relief without bad contracts. Sealing does not make you hard. It makes you clear. You can bless and leave. You can grieve and not curse your future. You can feel the ache and still refuse to drag your decree back to the table and carve it into pieces because a feeling got loud for an hour. Feelings pass over a floor that holds. The seal is that floor. If you must speak to someone involved in the chapter you closed, let the seal shape your tone. Short, kind, factual. This arrangement no longer fits. I'm closing it cleanly and wishing you well. If pressed, give a single honest reason that does not harm anyone's dignity. Decline debates. You are not a defendant. You are a person who filed a lawful change. When you leave the room, take your peace with you. That is how you know you stayed in order. To keep momentum without turning life into a project, use a light maintenance rhythm that fits in your actual day. Morning, 1 breath cycle and 1 identity line. I am led by divine intelligence. Midday, 1 silent ledger picture, stamped, filed in order, and 1 allowance line. What is mine finds me without strain. Night, 1 garden picture, seed in soil, and the seal. It is planted, it is done in order. 3 small touches keep your field from slipping back into old tempo. When the rhythm is steady, you will notice how many decisions no longer require speeches. You simply know what to do, and you do it. If regret tries to bargain, what if I sealed too soon? Remember, the law you serve is precise, not cruel. If something truly belongs to you in a higher form, the seal does not banish it. The seal refuses the wrong form and leaves room for the right one. What returns under law does not demand you shrink, lie, or hurry to keep it. It fits. Let that be your measure. If it hurts your peace to hold it, it is not your crown. If it strengthens your peace to carry it, it belongs on your head. When gratitude rises, let it speak. Gratitude is not decoration, it is reinforcement. Thank you for what was. Thank you for what is next. Thank you that I do not have to push the river. Gratitude keeps the mouth from drifting back toward complaint, and complaint is the slow acid that eats through seals. A grateful sentence each day is like pressing the wax again with a firm, steady hand. If a storm hits while delivery is underway, you do not tear open the envelope to check the page. You check your posture. Repeat the simple rescue. Breath once slowly. Whisper, filed in order. Place one hand on your chest until your breath drops, and take the next right step. The storm will pass. The file is still in the system. Your part is steadiness, not supervision. Carry one final picture that a child can hold. You stand at a gate with a key. Readiness was your steady hand. Timing was the moment the tumblers aligned. The decree was the key itself. The seal is the turn that opens the way and then leaves the latch as it is, closed behind you so you do not wander back through habit. You do not keep testing the handle. You walk the path that appears, and you let the path prove itself one step at a time. Now speak a closing that gathers your authority without strain. Say it once, evenly, and let it sit in you like a warm stone. I release with love. I surrender control to divine order. I receive my right good in right time. It is done in order. Let your shoulders lower. Let your jaw loosen. Let your breath drop. Then choose one ordinary, honest action that agrees, a dish, a page, a call, a walk, and do it like an amen. This is not small. This is the visible motion of a sealed word. If you wish to mark the turn in writing, keep it simple. On a single line in your log, write the name of what you released and the date beside 3 words: blessed, released, received. The first 2 are your act. The third is your confidence. Close the book. Live your day. Notice how often good returns quietly when there is nothing left to argue with. You do not have to chase what is yours. You make room, you speak in order, you seal, and you walk. Over and over, you will see the same pattern. Fear shouts, law whispers, peace leads. Follow the whisper, walk with peace, keep your crown, and each time you meet a new door, you will carry the same calm skill in your hands. A clean sentence, a steady turn, a quiet seal, then the soft click of a lock behind you and a path in front of you that fits.